Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of oil and natural gas. I'll give you my financial opinion. Please don't use it against me if I am wrong because it's not supposed to be used as advice. Just my opinion, guys. The short term, it's going to be volatile. We've been moving all over the place. I think a lot of people and companies, you can see things reversing very quickly. One time we're up 20%, the next time we're down 2%. It's like, what the heck just happened there? Extremely volatile. So whatever you're doing now, get ready for some volatility. It's getting real volatile out there. And what I'm doing is, again, I'm not doing anything. I'm just holding on. I'm just holding on, riding through it. That's what I'm doing. The fundamentals look absolutely excellent in terms of inventory and all that stuff. So I think we'll continue, hopefully higher, but it is getting more volatile. We've got light crude oil futures right behind me. You can see some wicks at the top. It does look like we're hitting some sellers. But again, it seems like every morning we're overnight, oil's gapping higher. It's going higher. So it's been very strong. Will this continue? You know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to hold on here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back out of here. And I'm going to look at some other resistance levels that we've got. And, we've got some resistance through here at about 110. We blew through that and we're moving higher. And that's what we're seeing is there's not much resistance up here. So things are just blowing through no resistance. There's nothing there. So the next point that we're looking at, we're kind of looking at this going, well, are we going to hit this like 145, 150-ish range? Kind of looks like that. So we'll see what happens here, guys. I mean, again, this could blow way higher. I mean, I don't want to put any numbers in anybody's head. I don't want to say that we're going lower. We could have these little pauses as we go up, these like little down days coming through here. We could still see lots of volatility, but there's not much resistance above our head. And the resistance up there is around 150, 140 something, 145, 150, somewhere in that range, wherever the all-time high was last time. We're heading right at it. We'll see if we can get there. Natural gas, that's pulling back a little bit. Again, guys, this is looking quite strong. I'm looking at the lows. So when I focus on this, it's low. Oh, goodness. I don't want that one. Let's get this one. Low, low, low. And these lows, they continue to come on up. Now, if we start breaking down here, then we might see a larger pullback. But if we get these higher lows and they stay here and they keep pulling on up, we're still in an uptrend. So it looks good. If I were to look for a downtrend kind of movement, if we break that there, we're going higher. So we're kind of at this like point where it didn't work. We're kind of there. We're just squeezing on up in this corner here, and we'll see which way we break. XOP's right at its resistance line. That white line is a resistance line. There we go. Let me auto it in here. There we go. We're right at that resistance line. We're trying to break through it. Once we break through that, that's some resistance. It's another go time. So we've broken out of the big long-term downtrend. That was the selling pressure that we encountered here. We came up to the next resistance line. Now, are we gonna roll higher, or are we gonna rest a little bit? I can't tell you that because the market's going to determine that, not me. And we'll see what happens. I'm getting a little bit of resistance in SM Energy, just like XOP. We're right there at resistance area. We got to break through some sellers. Same thing with CDEV. This is a bearish engulfing type pattern that's put in, but if oil keeps shooting higher, I don't know where this is going. It seems like this wants to maybe do some sideways action and rest a little bit. CWEGF, Crew Energy, coming right up. It's resting, hitting its head on some resistance up there, just like the rest. CPE is doing the same thing. We're just at resistance, guys. It's going to take some time to bust through this. We've been here for a while. Now, I'm going to make a statement here, all right? The longer we're at this resistance, the bigger the moves it is going to be when we break. It's just resting. It's fueling up. And don't get discouraged. I'm not a price chaser. I want to sit in these things because, one, we know that they move. And we're up against that resistance ceiling. So don't be too quick to just dump it and move on, because once these things break, I think we're going to get a good run out of it, especially if oil continues higher. Athabasca oil, it paused at its resistance line, and then it just broke on higher. Will we see a return move? Maybe, maybe not. The cool thing about this guy is we could easily break, when we get above some of this area in here, we could easily move to a 550-ish, 560-ish level up there before we hit the next resistance. This could do a pretty good run. It could easily double, very easily here, more than double, if we can break free from this resistance area. Recaf is struggling, guys. It is an exploration company. It's going to move on its own time, but it's been moving sideways. CPG, a little bit of resistance up here. It's really slowed down up here recently. We got this resistance all through here, guys. This is all resistance through here. Previous trading and all that volume down here, we have to get through it. It's just the way it works. So right now, this thing is a huge inverted shoulder, head, shoulder that we broke. We're coming through this resistance area, and we just got to break through it. It'll break through it, guys. It'll be a big move after. Big move. Looking at Northern Oil and Gas, big long-term picture. We've got the booty bottom, the slingshot, and it's just breaking out. Sometimes it pauses here for a little bit and then runs. GTE, looking quite strong still. A little bit of a red candlestick, just like the rest of the group. Sometimes these pop up. It's had a monster move. But again, I would be a holder in it. I wouldn't sell my shares. Tellurian's moving on up. A little bit of a, we'll call it selling pressure. It's still an up day, but momentum's coming back down a little bit. Pedevco, this is a reversal kind of back test all in one day. Monster shot the past 2 trading sessions. This last one, we got a little bit of selling pressure. Again, I like it up here. This to me is a buying opportunity. Not I wouldn't sell it. OAS, Oasis, Petroleum, getting a little bit of selling pressure. Looks like a lot of these companies want to sit and relax on top of their breakouts. They may rest before another run. Another one, Comstock, getting a little bit of selling pressure as well. This is a bearish engulfing. We could see sideways to pullback movement. A lot of support back through the $9-ish range. SD, Sandridge, again, we're resting before a move higher. I do like that it's above its support line. So we're just above support, resting. It will go, though. Ring Energy, another one, showing the same thing. Surge Energy getting a little bit of selling pressure today. It's a very small little down day. I could see some sideways movement. Tamarack Valley Energy, that's the next one. A little bit of sell-off today. Nothing too big. CRGY, we're right at this kind of all-time high in 20, at least for this stock. Getting a little bit of selling pressure up there. OIH going into the Energy Services ETF. This thing's been absolutely volatile as all get out. Getting a little bit of a wick at the top. We'll see what happens here. It looks like it's slowing down a little bit. Tetra Technologies getting that wick at the top. It opened up, ended a little bit lower. Momentum's going to the downside. Transocean, same thing. Opened up, went up, and then ended a little bit lower. This could do a little bit of a return move. I'm not saying it will. It's very volatile, so I don't want to say what might happen. I'm just holding on. I'm holding on, baby. Pump's doing the same thing. We're getting these little things. Sometimes these like to pull back a little bit. That's what the wick at the top here means. There's some sellers. We got another buying pressure, tried to move this up, but the sellers came in and sold some off. I think we will go sideways to maybe a slight pullback. Exterion's doing the same thing. Valaris also bearish engulfing. We could pull back a little bit. MRM still looking great, moving sideways. This pullback is going sideways. I'd be a buyer in this thing. It looks really good for a long-term hold. Tidewater continues to move higher. Doesn't look too bad. NEX, this guy's been a beast, just moving higher all the time. Just beast mode. One thing I will say, it is slowing down a little bit. And what I'm looking at is kind of a big move here, kind of another big move. It's getting a smaller, no, they're getting a little bit smaller as it goes up. A little bit of a contraction. The buyers are starting to equal the sellers. Getting a little bit tired. KLXC doing kind of a reversal move. This could pull back a little bit. Well, we'll see what the short sellers, this thing's getting squeezed to death. We'll see what the short sellers do here. If they come jumping all in, it's going to squeeze again. Champion's trying to break out of its resistance line. I'd be a buyer kind of right where it's at. Once this thing breaks through its resistance line here. So guys, okay, if you want to know my opinion here, and I know a lot of people are chasing prices and stuff. What's this one? CHX looks good. CHX, see how we're below that resistance line? It's going to break that resistance line at some point here, probably soon. It's either going to go sideways or do a big break. That's my guess. So this is one that I think looks good. It's kind of inverted head and shoulders almost, or something like that. So that one looks good there. It's going to break it here at any point. So that would be one that I would be looking into. It's the same thing that Cactus has done. You would be buying it down here instead of trying to chase the price. So that's CHX. Cactus has already broken out. This one looks, just fine. Everything's looking okay. Get a little bit of a selling pressure up there, but if you get it down here, that's far better than buying it up here. 9 is continuing to do crazy stuff. It's a short squeeze. It got squeezed all up. Now, this does look good down here, but this is really hard to figure out before it breaks. What you do is you want to buy a whole bunch of these and you kind of just cost average in all of them. That's what I do. And then some of them, they just do large short squeeze type scenarios. Oceaneering International looks great. We're breaking out of this kind of downtrend line. It's probably going to run here for a good while, so long that oil moves up. It'll pull back. If oil pulls back, it'll go up if oil goes up. But it's broken out. It looks fantastic. Noble Energy getting a little bit of a selling pressure day. It's probably going to pull back. HLX is done quite strong. We're getting that wick at the top. We're starting to encounter some sellers, and we're coming up to a resistance line. That resistance line is this guy here. We break through this. Again, I think we're going to see another run. And then CGGYY, nice big 18.24% up day today. We're trying to break out of this bottoming pattern at $1. Let me zoom in here. $1.25 or so. We get past $1.25, we're going to get some resistance as we go through this. And then we're off to the races again after we break above $1.25, either rest on top of the pattern or do a nice little retest. Usually that's what happens, and then we'll break. CGGYY, man, that's a mouthful. Looks really good. So that's what I got for the oil sector. Again, not much resistance above oil. Are we going to go straight to 140, 150? Maybe. Again, I don't have the crystal ball, guys. What I'm telling you is there's not much resistance above it. Now's the time to not panic sell out necessarily. Now's the time to kind of hold on to your shares and see what happens. Of these opportunities, in my opinion, what I do is I try to buy things that haven't broken out yet. Something like a CHX to me looks good. So that's kind of where I would be looking if I wanted an energy service company before it breaks. So CHX would be one that I'd be given a good hard look. I probably wouldn't dive into 9. I probably wouldn't dive into KLXE. These ones that start getting all this short squeeze, I mean, you're buying it after it's already gone up a few 100%. You could see a big sell-off in it too. So they become very volatile if you're not already in it. That volatility can mess with people's emotions. So it depends on what you want to do. I'm not a price chaser. I'm a guy that tries to buy things before it breaks out, and then I just hold on. I hold on and I go through the volatility. I do think all of these will do very well in a long-term perspective. I do think oil is going to do very well. I think we're going much, much higher. I know that sounds weird at where we're at, but the inventories are too low. They're just too low. I said it before. I thought we were too low at like $100 oil. Like I don't know how we're not at like 150 or 170 or 200. And that's probably where we're going to end up very quickly. And then if that doesn't solve any problems, then we go higher. The inventory is what we have to look at. Maybe I'll look at some inventories when it comes out this midweek. We can look at it together, and we'll see what happens. Thumb up for the content, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.